Call this meeting to order. First thing on our dance card, gentlemen, is the consent agenda.
Okay, Rob, go.
The accounts payable.
All right,
Are you going to this first?
it's up to you.
Yeah, go to this first. We'll
Okay.
get over with.
Just run these, I don't know if I'm right, but I think I am. Just run these numbers again, and I ran that at 400 for Josh, is that correct? All right. And I forgot to subtract out the 50 from John, but basically I come up with a different number for disbursements for this month by the difference of about $700.
For this month.
So you're
What's on the sheet, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So,
those are all the checks that I put in there.
so you're getting 91 and I'm getting something different.
And this is off the bank statement from July.
Okay.
So these are taken right off the checkbook.
Yeah, and that would actually, that's for August. July's would be here.
And that's taken right off the checkbook.
Check right off the checkbook.
Except the automatic withdrawals and the bond payments.
So I added all this up. My math is correct, that's what I get. I added all this up, that's what I get. I add that together and I get 90,500. Just check it, please.
So are you accounting for checks that haven't been cashed yet?
No. And I'm sure
That's
there are
probably what the
some.
discrepancy
Well, some
is
of them
there.
are outstanding.
All right.
So those numbers are not in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put them in there till they clear.
Okay, but when will they come up on the balance sheet so we know that they
They'll
were?
probably be in there next month. Some people don't cash them checks right away, and sometimes some of the checks that we write later in the month don't clear that month.
That, yeah, that's normal.
It's almost like your own checking account if you write a check.
And I can see
Because
that, I
these
just want to,
numbers are taken right off the checkbook and the deposit.
So like, in other words, 1 month, it might look like we're 700 less
Right.
or 700
And,
more.
and,
vice
the next-
versa.
and
Right.
June is really bad because of bond payments.
and I can accept that, it's just that I want to then
I'll
know
check it.
where it comes in.
Off of those,
Yeah, because then it's going to show up here on the next month.
and then that one.
We're carrying
Oh, I can,
forward.
from now on, if you want me to, I can take out the checks that haven't cleared yet.
I would prefer that way. I like things to balance up, even though I'm not an accountant.
So I'll just do that.
All right.
Okay. So, deduct.
Anything else with the accounts payable?
Yeah, I got another question. If I get to the right one here. And we've been over this before. So the fire department had a disbursement of $32,910.57, but I don't see any, I have nothing to tell me what it was for.
It was for bond payments.
Yeah, no, last month.
It was in
So the
last,
bond
it
payment.
should have been on last month. It should have said bond payment,
For July's or August?
July. And it might have even been June. Because they take that out of the account automatically.
So this is July's, and I don't see it on there.
June. And it might have got missed because they take it out automatically.
Or you mean July?
July.
Okay,
Sometimes they
there's
take it out the end of
there's
June,
a-
sometimes they take it out July
There's a
1st.
$31,205 for blacktop service in July.
Well, that's included up in this road use tax. This road use tax disbursement is the streets and the bond payment together.
So if the auto pay is for the 31st or the 30th, if it lands on a Sunday or a holiday.
It just
they won't
depends when
take
they take it out.
it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't see it in August.
So I'll write those down for you from now on.
It's not in
I'll have to
April.
handwrite them because I don't write a check. Although I'm thinking about
March.
just having a money order wrote for them.
Or in February.
Well, it wouldn't have went back that far.
No, but it's not in any of them.
That's what I mean, I probably forgot to write it in there, because they're automatic withdrawals.
All right, well, I would
I'll
like to
write it
see that.
down.
And the full amount was for the bond payment?
For the fire department,
That's
yes.
city stuff, that's not.
Yeah, okay, well, I
So that
This
is,
was not
that is just one disbursement total.
two payments,
What was, that's,
two bond payments,
but that's two separate bond payments, that's all they
yes.
are.
And then the road use tax is the streets,
Were they the same amount?
no.
Okay.
I'll break them out and put them on a sheet for you next month.
Okay.
The road use tax is for the streets and the dump truck bond payment.
And I figured out, but I just don't know
I'll
what the
just break
32,
them out for
910
you
was for.
from now on
Okay.
and let you know how much they are.
And I'm assuming the bond payment is for the truck?
Dump truck.
No,
No,
the
the
third.
two fire trucks.
2 fire trucks,
Okay,
yes.
all right. All right, and down here in regions,
Yes,
all right. When I see two numbers that are exactly the same, it makes me wonder what's going on. So if you see a storm sewer and water
Okay.
tower, yeah, no, we're,
oh, because we have the same amount taken out for the storm sewer as we do the water tower fees on the water bills. So those numbers should always be pretty close to the same.
well, I noticed that they hadn't been in the past, that's what made me question.
Sometimes, it depends how the computer calculates it.
Okay,
But I go off the sheet that is a printout. They should be pretty close to the same,
okay. And are we getting revenue for every month for that?
yes.
Okay, well, there's nothing in June
For the,
for, yeah.
well, probably because I didn't transfer the money. I put this on here when I transfer the money.
All right.
We write a check, put it in an account.
All right.
And John sees that check, it goes to Regions and then it's broke out.
Yes, I do remember those big checks.
Yes.
So much for the accounts payable. What about the agenda?
Agenda.
Unless
Oh,
anybody else got anything on accounts payable?
You mean the minutes?
Yeah, sorry, the minutes.
so from now on, I'll just write down the bond payments and break them out for you. They're due December, sometimes take them out in November. They're due actually December 1st and June 1st. Twice a year.
Okay.
Okay,
Any more questions for the accounts payable? All right, let's go to the minutes and the format.
I thought we agreed after the lecture from last time that we weren't doing a narrative, we were just doing,
That's me.
Correct.
wait a minute, somebody told me to do them like Norwalks.
I asked Donna to look at Norwalk's because Norwalk was cited by you, by Nathan, and she looked, I had her to look at Norwalk's and copy that format.
And what gives you the authority to do that?
What gives chapter 15? of the Martensdale
Incorrect.
Code.
Negative, it is not.
I
Chapter
have the authority-
17.05
I
says
have the
exactly.
authority to give direction to departments for their.
She's not a department head.
She is not a department head, but she is a department.
And chapter 17.05 specifically addresses the directions that are given to the city clerk.
You guys did not give a direction.
Yes, I did.
Yes, we did.
There was no vote.
We gave verbal directions and we
Because
were
you
all in
gave the
agreement about it.
direction- You guys gave the direction to do that, which you said
There
we
was
should.
no vote. So
So
without
how-
a vote, there's no voice. You guys if you guys want to give a direction, then you guys have a vote, put it on the agenda, have a vote, and then you guys can give your voice.
Fine.
I'm just asking, so then how come we went to, how did we get to that? How did we change from what we did in the
Because
past
we
to go to
backed,
this
we
because
backed
there was no
down
vote?
from where we were the previous month.
There was no vote.
There was never a vote for a change of any of it.
Okay.
So it never should have been changed in the first place.
how did we change it in the first place? We just added more detail. It was a
Right.
narrative, it was a narrative at that point, add more detail. So we're using a method. Then you said, I want to use this other method.
Okay.
Which was fine, but
But
again,
what we're
there's no
saying
vote.
is, there was never a vote to change it in the first place.
from what it was 6 months ago. There was never a vote then. There was never a vote
How
now.
are you changing it from 6 months ago by adding more detail?
You're changing the format of the minutes.
No, it's not the format, you're
The format's
adding.
the same.
The format's exactly the same, it is a narrative. So you've got your bullet statements like you want, and you've got a narrative. This was always a
There
narrative.
should not be a narrative in the minutes. Her minutes always had a little bit more in them, and that's exactly what we talked about at the last meeting, is that we were gonna go back to what her minutes were before.
No, you said you wanted Robert's rules with nothing but who was here, motions.
Am I incorrect?
Yes, you
'Cause
are.
I thought the discussion we had last month was, we were going back to the way they were before.
Correct.
No,
That's what I thought.
The discussion we had last month was you accusing Rob of doing something illegal when he didn't.
I never accused anybody of doing anything illegal.
You made you said that I could not amend her minutes.
You can't.
I can. I called around, found out. All she has to, please cite me the code.
Well,
Please cite me the code.
According
where it
to our
says-
attorney, those minutes should not be amended before they come to this table and are amended here.
According
I
to-
don't know anyone that changes the minutes before they come to the council table and are changed here.
According to the Iowa League of Cities, all she has to do is present the notes, get them published. She doesn't even have to take them. And that's what the
Over here,
Iowa,
who wants to take them?
the Iowa Public Information Board said the same thing.
Fine. That's
Okay, so
not
there's-
up for,
so there's-
that's
there's
not
no-
what we're debating here
Yeah,
at the
no, that is
moment.
exactly what we're debating. There's nothing illegal.
I didn't say there was anything illegal. So you're
You-
putting words into my mouth.
No, you pretty much screamed that that was illegal.
No, I did not say that it was illegal.
Yeah, that.
Said it was a
that-
very
those
poor
are-
idea.
Well, since you guys changed them word for word of everything, it doesn't say in here that it was.
Right,
said
it doesn't say it in
illegal.
there.
Well, yes.
And that seems to be the problem, doesn't it?
So, timeout, how about we just get our city attorney here and have him set it straight?
Well, we can't ask the city attorney to come in without having that voted on. We can't have that voted on without being on the agenda.
Actually,
We can ask,
yeah, we can ask the city attorney to come here anytime.
But it'll cost us money.
it's gonna cost us money
That's,
regardless, but
that's why we have an attorney in the first place.
Exactly, but if
And
we're
that
gonna
is-
spend money,
and that is
if we're gonna
known to-
spend money, you have to have a vote, and if you're gonna have a vote, it has to be on the agenda.
No.
That's what you said.
No,
Yes.
the city attorney is
See-
appointed at the beginning of the year, knowing that if we require his services, and any member of this council can ask him to give an opinion,
Correct.
that is known at that time, at the beginning of the year, that we're going to incur a cost for that. So that's totally known when we make the appointment.
So you're saying that that the expense is already approved? That's
Yeah.
not- no.
For an attorney, because we have
There was
him.
nothing implied, there was nothing spoken in the January meeting when he was appointed.
Jesus. Well, okay, regardless, as far as the minutes are concerned, chapter 17.05 says you can't do that. Specifically. It says the council appoints the city attorney or city clerk, and the council directs her duties.
17.05, right?
Yes,
I trust that I will read up on that.
I am sure you will. I'm sure you will find exactly what I said as well.
Now, since the format was not changed, other than bullet points added, since it's still a narrative, what's your issue?
These meeting minutes, as far as I'm concerned, were not supposed to be a narrative when we arrived at, when we
Wait,
talked
wait.
about this at last month's meeting.
You said that they have always been a narrative.
No, I didn't say they have always been a narrative. If you want to, this is ridiculous. This is really, really ridiculous.
You're right, it is. What you need to do is be mature about this.
I am. Right here it says you can't make these changes on your own. 17.05 says you can't do that. Period. We had the discussion, all of this council sitting around this table, and as far as I was concerned, and everybody else.
Oh,
that-
you're speaking
that-
for them now?
That this meeting, that these minutes, don't put words into my mouth.
You just said as far for everyone else.
Don't
too.
put words into my mouth.
Those were your words.
I said as far as I was concerned, and my understanding everyone else, that these minutes were supposed to go back to the way they were before they were ever changed.
So-
And resemble much more closely what was the Roberts Rules version of the minutes.
But
How
that
does
is not
that-
how they resemble.
Yeah, that's a narrative. That's May's. That's a narrative. There's April. It's a narrative.
Yeah, and it's one page.
Because we had a short meeting. When you have a meeting that's 2.5 hours long, you're gonna have more minutes.
I've never seen meeting minutes that were that long before. Never.
I've sat in a lot of meetings that have been longer. But right here, it says, Adam Vandekamp agreed with Nathan, Ryan Baker agreed with Nathan, and Adam.
I don't know how much clearer we can get on this deal.
It's on the agenda. We can set the format, or you can set the format, have a vote on it.
Then let's set the format. I make the motion that we set the format to be in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order. That paperwork that I presented to you, was it last month? I'm sorry, it slipped my mind.
Well, I don't have that paperwork, so I need a copy.
I can get it for you, no problem.
Is there a second?
There's Norwalk's minutes. It's a narrative too.
I've seen Norwalk's minutes.
Yeah, so have I. It's a narrative. They had an hour and 26 minutes. They had 5 pages.
Good for them. Last time I checked, I wasn't living in Norwalk.
No, but you just said no one
I don't
else
think we
does it
can
like
make a
that.
motion in a second right now, John. We have to wait till you get down to the public comments. Because you're still in the consent.
Oh, that's fine, you're probably
Yeah, we
right.
still have to approve this. All right. That will be
press
tabled.
scratch this.
That will be tabled, yes. All right. Back to the minutes.
It wasn't Jerome Knuckle, it was Rick Bott.
Where you at?
Where it says Jerome Whipple was present, but thanks to City for the streets. Second page,
Bot?
Bott.
Bot. 2 T's?
Second page, what paragraph?
Right underneath the fire report, city received 5 years, and then Jerome.
Oh, okay. Who was it?
Rick Bott.
Okay. Be good something.
Up here at the top, Mayor Rawls declared the motion carried unanimously. I believe I abstained. Under the fire report, that's all good there, except for John did ask the question about how many calls were answered. Did you not?
Yes, I did.
And how many were there? Do you remember?
I don't know, he didn't answer.
I did, I said there was 19 calls total, there was 12 EMS,
And
3
he asked
fire,
you how
and
many
4
you guys went out on, and you just repeated that again.
That's what we had.
So,
So,
this number here, you want me to change, what, you want me to change?
Alright, if you guys want me to break this stuff down, get out your checkbook. We're strictly volunteer firefighters.
Why does it cost money for you to tell me that you got called 19 times?
You want me to sit away from my family even longer to go figure this stuff out for you?
You can't do it in your head on 19 calls? Holy cats.
On 19 calls.
I
You know
don't
what?
see you
There's some during the day. Yeah, I don't see you knocking on the door. I don't see you.
I don't
yeah.
see you serving the military in 26 years either.
This isn't
So
what
don't
you
give me
Am
that
I
crap.
served
Am I
my
bitching
time in
about
the
the
military and
military?
I got my discharge, thank you.
Oh my God. You
My
just-
honorable discharge, thank you.
You know what? I work for a living. I go to Des Moines every
So
day for a
do I.
living. You know what? Everybody else in this room does. You got a problem with that?
No, because I go too. All you have to tell us if there was 19 calls that
Because
came
you're
in.
trying to complain and say we don't answer the call.
No,
That's where
I
you're going
just
with
want to
this.
know.
there's no need to be defensive about it.
No, because I know how
What we're
you
trying to
two
say is
work.
if-
I know how you two work, so I got it figured out. Don't worry.
You think you do. You only think you do.
You know what? Why'd you go to Norwalk and ask them to come be an automatic mutual aid? I already know
Because you
everything
guys are
about
gone
you.
during the day.
You know what? That's
already
already
taken
set
care of.
up. And that's not
If
part
you
of
come
your
talk-
duties.
if you come
That's
talk-
part of the fire department's duties. It's in the code book. Check
I can
it.
go talk to whomever I like. You have no say over that.
That's not
You
part
can't
of
try to
your
make the
duties.
decisions that you
It's
try.
in the
My duty
code
is to
book.
do what is best for this city, and you have no say over who I talk to. I can go get as much information from anybody I want, and if you don't like it, that's your issue.
You go get all the information you want. Don't try to set anything
No, I
up.
have not sat down and figured
Now,
out.
if I had
the
set
number of
anything up,
calls
that'd be a
that
different
we
issue, now,
responded
wouldn't
to.
it?
I don't-
Well, from
I
what
can
our
sit here-
understanding
no, I
was,
can't.
that's exactly what you tried to
No,
do.
that's
What
your
happens-
interpretation.
100% of the
That
calls-
came from the words of the person
100%
you
of the calls
talked
get
to.
answered
Good.
because either if it's
Was
during the
anything
day,
signed?
if
Was
Bob's
anything
around,
written?
he calls, or if he's
Doesn't
not
really
around,
matter.
he still gets on the phone and usually calls Warren County to trip someone else.
I
So how
understand
would
they're
you-
all being
how-
called. I want to know how many you guys are doing and what we can
We
do to
respond to all of them in some way or some format. We
everybody.
respond to
So
all
if
of them.
there's 19 fire calls, the fire truck leaves 19 times out of the fire station.
There's disregards. We get to the fire station, we don't get clear to the fire station. They
But
trip
there's
us out
never
of the
any
disregard.
time where you have to say to somebody else, look, we can't make it because you're at work, which I get. How many times?
I don't know.
Is there supposed to be a trip log for the vehicles at the fire station every time they go out to answer a call? Is that supposed to be?
Yeah, I get a
log
report
maybe?
from Warren County on every call that I get.
No, I mean, no, a trip log for the vehicles. This truck went out on this call.
Every call that we receive, Warren County sends out an email that reports all of that for me.
That's not answering my question. If
How much clearer do you
how-
get? That's exactly what he just
No.
told you.
It shows
they
the
record the
truck
calls
that
that
goes
you
in
get.
service, it shows the person, if it was the fire chief, the assistant chief, it shows that their name
Is
called.
there a log maintained at the
Yes.
station?
Yes.
That's what, okay, thank you. For each truck, right? As
Not
it's
for each
supposed to.
truck, it's for the fire department.
Okay, but it does log individual trucks. Truck one, two, I don't know how you guys got them numbered, but truck one, two.
Dude, I'm not gonna get micromanaged.
What are you getting at? What are you
Oh,
getting at?
That's what I'm just telling you straight up, you're not gonna micromanage me.
You know, had I ever had that intention, you would have known by now.
If you'd come ask me the questions, I'd be more than happy to ask you.
And that's exactly,
But you're
that's all this
accusing.
is.
You're
I-
accusing.
I have not accused you of a single thing. Not a single thing. You're accusing me of trying to micromanage. You're accusing me of trying to do something to harm the fire department.
If you'd have come and asked me about the whole Norwalk situation, I could have told you the answer. Instead of you going to the city of Norwalk, to the mayor, and to the fire chief and trying to set up a meeting without me, that's pretty funny, John.
Set up a meeting.
You tried to
without-
set up a meeting.
The thing was
You
to
tried to
see
set up a meeting
information.
without having
Get
the fire
information.
department representative
And I got
there.
information, didn't I? And I found out that you already knew about it.
Why couldn't you come ask me?
The point is,
Why
that
couldn't
you tried
come
to set
ask
up a
your
meeting.
own city official?
Okay.
Why couldn't you ask
wanna
that
know
question?
why? Because of your attitude, your arrogance,
No.
and your insolence.
Oh, excuse me?
You need to pipe down.
Excuse me? Oh, we're talking about attitudes?
Who's called me disrespectful more than once on the phone?
You have been disrespectful.
No, I haven't. If you just ask the question politely.
Seriously? You
Yeah.
have not been disrespectful?
Because you know what, John? I don't have any respect for you. You have to
There you
earn my
have it.
respect.
There you have it.
If once you earn it, then you can have respect, but not you. Sorry.
Gentlemen, I hate to break into this conversation, but my time is worth a lot of money. And I hate to be disrespectful to my community leaders, but this is foolishness. And I'm not gonna sit here and listen to it. My name is Donald Lee. I'm
agree with you.
investing over the next 2 years over $1 million in this town. I'm gonna clean it up, but I'm gonna need your help. If you don't back me in it, I'll leave the properties to rot, because I know they'll be worth a lot of money someday.
Where's your investment at, sir?
Get
Jeep?
roadside in, side road Jeep Supply, I'm buying that whole block down there. I've already bought that whole block down there.
So,
Pardon?
so,
Eh,
I mean,
Anyway.
we're interrupting the council meeting.
Don?
You have an agenda.
Because I've listened to, I respect my mayor,
That's fine.
and I respect my firemen, and I
That's
respect
fine,
my
but-
veterans.
That's fine, but you're on an agenda, and you need to
Yes.
sit down and go on the agenda.
We
I'm
have to
sorry.
finish what we're doing.
Then finish, they let them finish what they're doing.
Then let's stay on the agenda, please, and not bicker, because my time is worth
Well,
money. Thank you.
so is mine.
That's exactly right.
Let them finish. Let them finish. You know, you're new to the community.
Not new to the community.
We don't care about the investment. You know,
Really?
people do what, no, I don't.
Okay, just
I'm sorry.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy
You know,
smokes.
All right, let's move on.
let them move.
We're
Let's
just gonna have
table
to-
this for later, and let's have a discussion amongst us.
Let's have that
okay?
discussion.
All
Let's
right.
have that discussion.
Fair enough.
I would,
Discussion.
yes.
Fair enough?
All right.
All right.
Hold it, because I need, somebody made a motion here to put John in here somewhere, and there's
That
calls
I asked how
listed.
many calls were answered. That's what I'd asked.
And then you want this to be the answer.
N-
John asked how many calls. Chief Henson said there were blah, blah, blah.
Fine. I did this. Moving on.
We're getting into minutia.
All right.
All right.
Anything else on the minutes? Anybody?
No.
Yes, there is
Oh
one
my
thing.
God.
Down here, fourth paragraph down, after the consent agenda, he mentioned Carissa Arndt's husband, Jeremy,
Yes,
and said that he felt that he was in a contract. You omitted the fact that I informed everybody that he gleaned that information on his own because he never spoke with me.
This is exactly why we shouldn't have this much detail in the minutes. Exactly.
okay, so,
So
He
either,
did not tell you
either
that.
strike that, no, I didn't even speak to him. Either you strike that whole thing, or we include that.
okay, I have it.
Anything else in the minutes? Treasurer's report?
Did we?
Yeah, I think we beat that up pretty good to start with, didn't we? Unless
Yeah.
anybody else got
Pretty
something?
All right. No questions? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I nay. Never asked.
What?
Scott nays. Motion carried 4-1. Right, clerk report.
Okay, so we had briefly talked about petty cash per the auditor, that there should be a motion. And we never came up with amounts. So I think we need to do that, so the auditor knows that we have done
I
that.
thought we did that a couple months ago.
We didn't put an amount in, remember you talked about Bob?
Oh. Okay.
In case he had an emergency situation that something he could get into.
Well, I can, let him know where my petty cash is, and he could always take money out of there if it's not an extra. And there's always a check left, if like he would need to go get something with Bob or, so that's up to you guys, I don't care how you do it. I just wanted in the minutes for the auditor.
All right, so how much do you keep in petty cash? I'm sorry, I don't
I
remember.
usually keep about 150.
Would that work?
It depends on what.
Yeah, I know, you're not gonna do much with it, I get it, but it's
That's like
something.
you ask for something about it.
Yeah.
Emergency situation, you're talking $3,000-4,000.
And I only use it like if he's not around and I need stamps or I buy supplies for City Hall, that lasts me a while. So it's not something that we really use all that much, but
So do we need to set a petty cash for the clerk and one for Bob?
I think that's how I do it, if you're gonna have two petty caches.
If we're gonna do that, then we need to make Bob's a lot higher in case.
Oh, yeah.
But-
Or, or like you said, leave a check.
Leave a check signed, and he's got access to the building. He'd call you for approval if or knock on your door for approval, whatever. I don't know.
And I'm
Or I
okay-
could,
and I'm
I could
okay
give
with
you
that.
a check.
I don't want one. I'd rather stay here.
So, because, I mean, if, he's got a gas card. So I don't know that $150 would help him that much, but that's up to you guys.
I think keeping a check here like that is a reasonable answer.
And we have done that before.
Just in a place that only you and him know about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, as long as I can get it reimbursed right away for whatever I pay for, it's all right too, I guess. That's how I've been doing it.
And I mean, if.
Yeah, but what if it's like 10 grand or something?
I mean, you know,
I mean,
That has never
Then you're gonna get a phone call in the middle of the
Everyone's
night.
gonna get a phone, yeah.
I've
put
never
10 grand in
ever.
that 50 days.
Oh my,
okay, I'm just saying.
I wouldn't let him write a check for 10 grand without the council knowing.
All right.
I mean, and if we are.
Thank
going
you.
to- If we are going to
I
set aside,
wouldn't.
if we are gonna set aside a check like that, we need to have a cap on that. That
Yeah,
brings up a good
because
point,
there's no
because-
way I would let him, if you're talking a couple $1,000s, that's one thing, but, I would be real leery of giving a blank check
Yeah,
that they could go out and write $5,000 or $10,000 for.
Thanks for your trust.
Well, it's just the auditor will not think that's very cool.
So give me a money, give me a number, so we can get this moving. Give me a number.
$5,000.
No.
3.
2,500?
Do you have a
You
recommendation?
know, something
Nothing's
that
cheap.
big, I think
If
you
you-
guys wouldn't, you would have to approve it prior to that.
There's no
meeting.
emergency that we would need that amount
That
of
you
money
need that amount of money.
without them understanding
say
that, hey,
500.
I'll write you a check as soon as,
I mean, the only thing I can think of is we have to have an emergency piece of equipment right now, or
Yeah.
things are gonna go south on us.
But normally
Whether
he
it's
can
some type of
charge
pump
some
or-
stuff.
Yeah, whether it's some type of pump or generator or something like that. Can't,
Can we agree on
A
2
lot of that
grand?
stuff can be charged too, like hydrant thing
Yeah,
comes down at the
I
end of
mean,
the
he's
sewer.
got charges.
That can be charged and that can
I
be,
would say like
$3,000 or
$1,000,
$4,000
$1,500
right
is the
there.
most I
Yeah.
would do.
Okay,
1,500? Fine.
1,500.
Okay.
Do we need a motion for that?
Hold on.
Okay.
You can't make a motion about that though.
So that would
we
be
got the petty cash
if
on
he
that.
had a
Well, you-
check.
If it's in the report, it's a recommendation from the report, you can.
Well, you can do them both because it's petty cash for both of us.
Okay.
And then what do you want to do, 150 for just cash, petty
For
cash?
city? City Hall?
Yeah.
I like 150.
Works.
Okay, so somebody needs to make a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I did.
Okay, so
Abstain.
then somebody make a motion for a $1,500 check for Bob.
That's me. 1,500 for Bob, emergency fund.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Right.
And that's unanimous. Josh Butcher.
Okay, so we talked about putting on the in the minutes, and we did not do it last month about Josh Butcher.
That was 400, correct?
Yeah. Normally, when somebody says somebody's yard needs to be cut, we usually go to Josh Butcher. So unless it's not Josh, I would like a standing motion, and I can call him.
I agree.
And he will be paid.
And that's, if that's
Do we
what-
just make it a standing thing, because it's in the ordinances that they've got to
Unless
be
it's not
maintained?
Josh.
Josh be the preferred.
Yep.
And we'll always get our money back anyway, right? We put
Yep.
it- Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
all right.
Second.
He's a good kid.
He is.
Hard one.
Indeed.
So everybody say okay?
Yes, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Looks like you got 100% there.
Okay. Did everybody see the letter from Karen Mills?
Yes.
I told Mark that I'm sure nothing would be changed, and he said he told her not to send that letter, but
Any questions about the letter?
No.
What are you supposed to do about this? Isn't this pretty much also the state code? Doesn't it read pretty close?
Well, I don't know what the state code says for sure about dogs, but I know Des Moines doesn't allow pit bulls and several
Yeah.
others don't. I
We
don't
shouldn't
see any
either.
reason to.
I don't, yeah.
And I already told him that the city council probably wouldn't change anything.
No questions? All right. Investment policy?
Okay, so I talked to the lawyer. The investment policy, all we have to do is, like when we had a resolution to keep so much money in each bank. And we put like, each transfer 20,000 or 500,000 in the bank. That's all you have to do. It's just a simple resolution, how much money you wanna. We got a letter from the Iowa Department of Revenue, and we're gonna get $60,000 for the penny sales tax. And that starts this month. So I think, again, to please the auditors, we should put maybe $20,000 from general and 20 from road use tax to start an investment policy. So when they come, we can at least say we've started it, and we can always add more to that. We can always take it out if we need it.
Why are we taking money away from the road use tax if we're not putting it towards the streets?
Because they can probably earn more money there than it is in the bank.
Why don't we spend it?
Over the streets.
Let's spend more money on the streets than what we have.
Well, you can do that, but I don't want to run that fund completely dry.
Well, no, but I think we could spend more money than what we have been on the streets.
And we've had bond payments too, so, you know, we haven't had a lot of money in that account till lately. So,
I mean,
So right now, we're
If you
at
know-
81 on the road use, correct?
because we just paid this out.
44.
If that's what the money's collected for.
do we always, do we ever go below 20,000 on that account?
No.
So
I
if we have a
try not to
buffer
do
in there, we
that.
could we'd still be okay.
Yeah.
Unless we have, somebody has some ideas for a road that needs paved or something.
Well, and I told Bob next year there'll be more money in there because the dump truck will be paid off in June. So,
I think it's a good idea to invest our money, you know, not obviously just a portion of it.
Right.
The buffers that we have in there that can be sitting somewhere making a little bit of interest for the city, then I think that's a good idea.
and it'll please the auditor.
So what are you talking about investing in the way of a buffer?
Yeah, I think that it would be a good idea for that.
How much?
Well, that's, I don't know, like she said, do we ever go below 20,000? No. Then if we never go below it, then put it into something and we can pull right back out. That's where this guy would come into play, is telling us what to invest in to get a good return that you can pull out without any penalty. I think a good idea would be to have that person here talking to us specifically about what type of product, you know, what type of products we should use.
And I can ask him to come to the next meeting. I mean,
Thoughts?
if you want to do what the auditor's asking you to do, we need to do some of these things on our list.
Yes. And it's
And we're starting to get some of them
it's up
checked
to
off.
these
And
gentlemen.
they don't like it when you don't try to do what they're telling you to do.
Well, it can't hurt to have the gentleman come and have him talk to us, right? So,
So let's have him come in and talk to him, so we have a,
But at this point, are you just asking to specify some amounts?
Who, me?
Yeah. are you-
That would be my recommendation. We're gonna get $60,000 extra in the general fund.
So your recommendation is to specify some amounts right now, and then we can have the guy come in and
Yes.
talk to us about how we want to invest that?
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
yeah. So.
I would say do
How much?
20 and 20.
20 and 20.
to start.
get a motion.
That sounds reasonable.
I'll make a motion for that.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
All right.
Motion carries 4-1. Bob, you're up. Maintenance?
Need some work on that lift station down there. Had Central pop down to go over on it, need some parts for it. And the duct point this building is around $2,400, mostly on the east side.
Yeah,
You want that done?
and I think that behooves us. Got a guesstimate on the lift station?
That's around probably $1,500. One of the parts is over $400, so.
Well, we better fix it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we don't want to see that mess. Go ahead and fix that lift station.
Pardon?
Oh. So we need $4,000, gentlemen. We need a motion for that? No? Get taken care of.
All right, thanks. What
Anything
about
else?
the buil-
Anything else?
What about the building?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and have him do it.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a good price
For what?
for tuck point.
Tuck pointing.
So who's doing it?
Rip, I think's his name.
Is that what the $4,000 is?
No, 1,500 for the lift station, 2,500 for the building.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're a little excited about it.
Anything else, Bob?
No,
Fire department.
Had a total of 10 EMS calls. That combines EMS and fire because there was quite a few accidents, and one call for other.
How many EMS?
10.
How'd your water fights go?
Good.
And one other? Is that what you said?
One call for other systems.
Can you specify other?
Storm spotting.
Okay.
And if you would have asked me the number of calls, instead of just putting fire department on the report, just fire department, I have no idea what I'm supposed to come talk about,
Oh, well, just,
then maybe I would have had that information prepared for you, but since you don't ask me and let me know what I need to have for you.
just a report. What's going on with the fire department? And I understand you guys went to
I like that.
you guys went to a convention or something like that?
We went to the Iowa Firemen's Convention this past weekend.
Did that turn out well?
Yep.
Really? That's a spectacular report, I guess.
Nope. It's just
All right.
all training drills and
Anything else you'd like to add? Okay. Don? Couple comments?
Well, I must apologize. I've never sat in on a city council meeting before, so I apologize.
Not normally like that. Never been like that, so don't,
Yeah, that's not the status quo.
I was just feeling, I don't know. Anyway, I am Donald Lee Hedberg. My wife and I are investors. It's what we do, it's how we make our money. We are also local residents. I have a daughter that goes to Martensdale, St. Mary's. We were actually in St. Mary's. We have purchased the roadside inn. We have purchased a property beside it, and we are in the works to purchase the old lumber yard behind it. We're putting a lot of money in our investments. We're putting a lot of money into this town with the intent to improve our investments, of course, but also to improve the town of Martensdale gladly, with asking nothing in return for it. It's, of course, our investments, and we feel that someday it just might pay off with the growth of Des Moines. Someday our grandkids maybe will have a little money in the bank. With that being said, we have encountered, as a new business owner here in Martensdale, a whole lot of flack from our current building inspector that's on contract. At first I thought it was just me that was taking a lot of flack, but then I met with Steve Gilbert, which Josh here works for. He just purchased the building next door. Also was confronted with bully type tactics very rude, very unprofessional. The guy's a straight up mean guy. Forcing us to pay for fees that are non-existent. There is not one set code for everybody. It kind of varies on the mood he's in. So I'm here to address that. If I continue to invest money into this town, I think I'd like to strike a motion that we replace B&K. I have also driven all over the communities around Des Moines and spoke to other small business owners that have encountered the same rudeness, the same bully tactics. So that's why I'm here to address that. Also, I'm here to address, we are going to have a grand opening at Side Road Jeep Supply, and I invite you all to come on down there. You're more than welcome to come inside. What we do there, we sell Jeep parts for America's true military icon, the American-made Jeep. My son is a corporal in the United States Marine Corps. He'll be coming home next year. That whole building and everything is for him when he comes home. He has served his country. He's a brave man. I get a little emotional when I talk about him. That's all for him. I'm a retired horse ranger that has a horse ranch over in St. Mary's. That's what I do for a living. This all for down here is for my son. He's a good man. That's what it's all about, if you want to know the personal side of that. When you sign up, and I'm sure you know when you sign up for the military, when they let you out, you might have a nice resume, but you don't have a job to go to, and you don't have a home to go to. So I bought the house down there for him, and I bought the building for him, and creating him a job because he deserves it. So I get a little personal about and emotional about this frustration that's going on down there. If it were any other reason why I was investing my money, it would probably be a whole lot different story. Our business down there works with the Warren County Fire Department, the Warren County Police Department, and several other departments with the EMTs. What we do, we are affiliated with a lot of support groups, but also in Cub Scouts, Isaac Walton Leagues, things like that to educate kids on safeties of driving, safeties of off-roading, whether it's on a four-wheeler or in a vehicle. You say you're out here on the road, you see somebody go into the ditch. We have seminars and safety classes that will be down there and involve our EMTs on CPR and proper ways to educate the community on proper ways to help somebody if you see that. I am also on the board of the Iowa Jeep Club and Midwest Adventures Club, and we do off-road sports. But we have several members in our clubs that have literally cut off their hands, cut off their fingers from improper winch recovery, trying to help pull something out of a ditch. We had a kid that almost decapitated himself, jerking two trucks, trying to pull one out of a ditch with a chain. The log chain broke and almost cut his head off. He's a huge speaker for us. So a lot of positive in our community with what we do, and I don't know if anybody really knows about the Jeep community. It's kind of like, I would compare it to like the Harley community, not in the bad sense, but in the positive sense. We do a lot for cancer survivors, we do a lot for our community, and we're a huge family community. With that being said, we are having a grand opening. We are expecting probably 300 to 400 Jeeps to be in this town in less than a month, in 3 weeks. October 1st, from noon to 5, this town will have a lot of families roll through here in Jeeps. I would like the permits to apply for the permits for that. I would also welcome any of our local people that are vendors. A lot of the things we sell in our store are made by local people. I have signs, if they make handcrafted items, gladly will sell them in our store. My benches and there's dozens of items in there that are made by local people because I'm a firm supporter of the local economy. I'm a firm supporter of the local man. I've met my mayor many times. He's helped me a lot. I do respect the man. I do respect my fire department, and I do respect my veterans. So I'm sorry that I interrupt, but to hear you guys going at it like that, I'm sorry. I apologize, and it'll never happen again. But I also expect professionalism from my council members. Sorry. But I try to be a great guy. I want to be a part of this community. Like I say, my community is St. Mary's, but I'm in this town a lot now. If you have any suggestions that you would like, we've been making some improvements slowly. We've been doing a lot focusing on the business, but also trying to clean up down there. Trying to make, I know when you come in Highway 28, that's the first thing you see. So I will always try to keep it appropriate, to keep it clean. It's not ever going to be a bar anymore. It'll never be a restaurant anymore. We are in the works now with two metal fabricators to come up with a sign. We want a sign, "Welcome to Martensdale, home of the Blue Devils," and we are also involved with the Wounded Warrior Project. So I thought about buying my own Freedom Rock and having the kid come here and paint it. That just might happen. I would like to have some sort of community involvement on what we should put down there. I'm very open to that. And if somebody has an idea, hey, my brother-in-law does this or my cousin does that, nothing's concreted right now underneath. I'm sure you've all driven past it and seen my flagpole down there. There's a spot right there that will be it will be dedicated to our kids over here at the school and our Wounded Warriors. So if anybody has any ideas, stop on down and shoot them to me, because I don't know what I'm going to do down there yet. But it's going to be themed "Welcome to Martensdale" and something classy. So just want to throw that out there. And I guess I'm here to prepare this town for some Jeepers rolling in the next 3 weeks. We will have lots of events held down there, community events, show events. With that being said, let's go back to these permits that I'm being forced to pay. If the town of Martensdale tells me that I owe them $5,000 to open that business, I'll write a check right now. If $4,980 goes to B&K building inspectors, I'll see them in court. I have no issue paying the town of Martensdale anything they want for my permits. What I do have an issue is B&K, who has, 13 buildings, 13 offices around the Midwest. As an independent building inspector, I have a real issue with an independent building inspector profiting off a small town like Martensdale. I've already dumped 10 grand to an attorney to fight these guys, and I continue to do it because they've made me upset now. So whatever this town tells me I have to pay and do down there, I'll do it.
Mr. Hedberg?
Yes,
Is
sir.
it Hedberg?
It is.
All right. I thought you were, I thought they sent in a new inspector and things were going better.
It is, but the old inspector is still overseeing everything. And if he continues to do so, I will force this town to get a new inspector. That's not a threat, that's a promise. Because I will buy every piece of property in this town and let it sit. Because nobody can stop me from buying property. Or we can improve it.
John,
Yes, sir.
let's not make threats.
This wasn't a threat, it was a promise.
All right.
Anyway, They have sent a new inspector, it is going better. It's just, it's gotten out of control with this guy. And if you knew the whole story, how this all transpired, it would blow your mind.
All right.
And I'm not the only one that's happened to. Right here is a representative from Gilbert Construction, Gilbert Plumbing, Electrical. He also went through the same, and I can bring in 20 other small business owners from other communities.
Josh, you got anything to add to it?
Well, I grew up here. I graduated from Martensdale, this is my town. Gilbert Company, that they're originally out of Leon. They were looking to expand up in this area. They were literally looking at Norwalk very, very hard, and I said, why don't we look at Martensdale? Grew up here, loved the town, that's where I wanted to be. They found they were actually looking at roadside. It wasn't going to work out, so we bought the building next door. Unbeknownst to us that there was any kind of permit because we bought a building we're going to run a business in. Leave work on Friday, come back Monday, there's a big red sticker on the thing, shut down, you can't occupy, no work, no nothing. Okay, for what? What do? We haven't done any electrical work, we haven't done any plumbing work, we haven't done anything that naturally requires a permit. We're all about code compliance, that's what we do, we have to deal with inspectors all day, every day. But all we put in was dividing walls, not load bearing, nothing. I called him, he was very rude at first, just was not very nice about things. Well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you need to blah, blah, blah. Okay. Talked with the owners, they said, well, let's call them and see what we can figure out. Well, I emailed them a correspondence saying, explain to me please, because we have done nothing that requires permit. Very first email back, big bold letters, work stops now, any stops will result in fines, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, why don't you come down and walk me through what we need to do? We walked through, we figured out what we needed to do. Everything was pretty much in compliance besides a few exit signs and handicap designation. I filled out everything he wanted to do. I had it ready for him when he came down. I gave it to him. Within an hour, he sends back a $905 fee because we're deciding to be a business in this town. $905. I was expecting a couple $100. You know, it is what it is. Meanwhile, the electrical permit that we pulled for his building, the electrical permit we pulled for here was $30, $75. With talking with people in here, the residential side of things does not make him much money, but the commercial, he's like a slobbering dog. It's big money, that's where he's making his cut. So I'm also interested on how much cut he gets out of this and how much actually goes to the city.
I think it's 60-40.
You get 60%.
He gets 60%?
We get 40.
Wow.
And see, yeah, so we just paid his
But it
paycheck.
used to be worse than that. It used to be like
But
70-30.
Gentlemen, I just like to say, me personally, I'm excited to see new business come into town. We need it.
Right.
I mean, we need it for growth.
Well, and see what Gilbert is not only just a heating, cooling, geothermal, plumbing, spray foam. We do everything under the sun, but we also carry an apprenticeship program. I personally go to schools and talk to all those surrounding schools to get kids in their trade, because we all know kids aren't set for college. Not every single kid's set for college, but the mind frame these days is 4-year college, 4-year college. Well, those are the kids that go for a year, drop out, they got $20,000 in debt. So we're not only bringing just a service company, but we're sponsoring all the area schools. We're getting in the community, but I guarantee you, if we would have known the fees, not fines, but the fees that we were going to incur on this, we probably would have second-guessed Martensdale. I personally is the one that convinced them to, let's hub here. It's close enough to Des Moines. It's a good location, major highways. We can get everybody taken care of. Now, aside from that, if it was me personally by myself trying to start a business here, and I got a $1,000 bill, that could set a guy back pretty easily, pretty quickly. You know, trying to help get it going. Another thing that was said when I called him about the fee, he said, you ought to be jumping for joy and be happy because I waived some fees. I very easily could have had a $2,000 fee. Because he waived a 60%. It would have been 60% of the $900 he would have added on top plus other fees. So I'm curious on what the actual fee or charges are per square foot or how they come to that number.
Gentlemen, I thank you for your time, for letting us know
You bet.
exactly what's going on from your perspective.
Well, we just want to, we're both, and I didn't know
I remember.
about his issues until I drove by and seen the exact same stickers all over his window. And my only issue is, I'll pay Martensdale because this is our town.
Yep.
Any fees? We didn't do anything inside that building that required a permit. I was actually contractor for 3 years, still a licensed contractor.
All right, I appreciate it, gentlemen. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Unfortunately, you guys are the first ones that have had to go through this,
Yeah.
and we've never had this issue before. Like, you've never had a
Everything's been
business.
residential up to this point.
He's
so-
exactly right.
Well, we're trying to bring
So-
some new
Learning
growth
experience.
in business, and I was told it's gonna cost me a few $1,000s out of the inspector's mouth.
$475 for Granger.
That was your fees?
That was my
That made
fees.
me a little
$475?
upset to hear that, like,
And it's
for
a
what?
lot bigger than
If
either one of those.
Martensdale receives that money, I'm okay with it. Tell me what I owe you. If you receive that money, I have an issue with it. So that's my only complaint here.
Understandable.
All right.
Thank you for the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
coming to
thank
town.
you.
And you're doing a good job. It looks really nice.
Right. That's all with these hands right here, and working a 60-horse ranch right up the road. So,
Now, with an update on our sidewalk grants. Dwayne?
Helen has, agreed to help with Donna and myself to seek grant money for the city to do some of your projects you've been looking for to get. So she's good at writing them. I'm good at finding them. Those people, but I couldn't do it without her. So we agreed, as you asked us, we would volunteer to help Donna. And I think Donna said she had one kind of in mind in the back that.
Well, the DOT has one. I need to check and see when the date is.
Well, maybe we can help you out and get those, and I understand.
I'm not sure about
still,
prairie
even though
metals
the IRS
anymore.
is after them.
I don't know if they're gonna
and a few other people, but
grants
in the meantime, there's still some $5,000 grants available that we can still latch on to. So we just have to work with Donna, and we're willing to work with Donna.
Very good.
She needs.
You need to behave. You have to behave.
I've never behaved. Hey, I've been an executive of a trucking company for 57 years. You don't behave.
Helen behaves. I don't know
Yeah,
about
she
you.
does. She keeps you in line. She's the secretary. She's the secretary.
Do I have any-
I'll look online and see what the dates are.
Oh, yes, one other
Yes.
question. And I know it's kind of frivolous the way you were talking about. We would like to know when, because we've always had this function of the Halloween thing, and I realize time can really fly by. Have you set up a trick-or-treat night? We would prefer not be a Saturday night.
Beggar's
We
night?
call it Halloween, but
When do
we
you guys
would-
want
we
it?
would compromise.
Isn't it on Monday? Isn't Halloween?
It's on
That's the
Monday. It'd be
31st.
great if you have Monday or Friday night. I know it's football probably tonight still.
Yeah, it is a Monday.
So just-
I don't know how long your football goes.
So you want to set the date right now? For
That's
Halloween?
That's
You know,
fine.
would give us an idea of
I
what,
think.
you know.
So Monday the 31st?
Yeah,
Monday the 31st.
Monday would be great if you just have it on Halloween.
Maybe I'll be a deer hunting that week.
that's when it'll be.
I suppose I'll be here.
Times.
What have you done in the
6 days,
past?
isn't it? Is
Yeah.
that is that when they
At
use
6 to
it?
8.
Yeah.
We used to get a lot of it.
Monday, 6 to 8.
Monday,
The 31st.
31st. Super. 6 to 8.
Anybody else?
Kids done eating bag of candy.
one more question, John. Do I have to have a permit for this grand opening?
Not for the opening. I wouldn't think so unless you were planning on serving alcohol there, then you'd have to go through the state for that. And
Sign, if you're gonna put a sign
depending on
out,
where you're placing it.
yeah, it depends upon where you're placing it. Are you placing it down the top of the building, to the side of the building?
A sign for what?
You
The
said you were
big
gonna
sign,
get a
you're
new
just gonna have
sign.
to,
I
big metal
love that
bus.
sign. That's why I kept that sign.
No, I thought you said you were gonna get one that said Martensdale St. Mary's.
No,
He said
that'd
he was
be-
gonna do a Martensdale sign.
Yeah.
Out on the side where I have my landscape.
Okay, so it'll be right next,
So
right
it's
to the
not
side
gonna
of the
be by
building.
the highway.
No, it's right beside the building.
Okay.
There's a
If you go by
flag
the
put
highway, you
there.
gotta go through the
Yeah, I'm just worried about the,
Yeah.
worried about the,
The DOT's got a huge right of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm
make sure it's back far enough, you don't have to mess with them.
All right. So, yeah, my sign will be in the landscaping.
Okay.
oh, perfect.
On the
I
side
just
of the
wanted to be
building.
sure that you didn't,
No, I kept this old sign because it's kind of iconic here in Martensdale. I just kind of turned it around.
So you guys, Hunter Norlands.
come out a radius, okay. Thank you very much. 2 mile radius. There you go.
What are we looking at?
Doesn't say what they're doing.
It doesn't.
Doesn't.
Oh, they just want us to be able to
So,
approve it so it
Don,
can
is
be
that
recorded
both of those
as a plat?
permits?
He's already paid, I'm having
Did you
Gilbert.
add up the electrical too?
They are, Gilbert is my electrical.
They paid that,
They
okay.
paid that.
Gotcha.
Trying to figure out where it's at.
Well, I have no idea.
Is this the one that came in a couple months ago? Down by, heading down towards St. Mary's? Here's a letter, gentlemen. It doesn't really offer much.
Doesn't say really what they're doing.
2 months the city
Just need to be
requires
approved and
approval.
be recorded as a plat.
I don't think they're building like a hall.
Looks like they're just splitting it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's where I read it too.
Yeah, yeah, we got.
Yeah, okay, plat survey.
So I just need a motion so I can stamp it and send it back.
I'm not comfortable not
I-
knowing
I
exactly
don't-
what it
Yeah,
is.
I think they are splitting the land, but I can't, I mean, they're.
So do you?
Yeah,
is
that's what I
splitting
just-
it- Can we,
How come
Can
that
we
one's different
respond,
than
well, let's
this one?
respond to them, just ask them to be more clear on what they're asking for us.
but if they're just splitting it, do you
Compare
want them
those
to
two.
wait another month?
Yeah, they're different.
Well, how about the?
Are they gonna get
out?
Plan.
Alright. Flood zone. I don't think we are out of line by asking to know why.
So you want them to wait till October?
Call Chad and ask him. Chad would probably answer us.
Here, let me call.
Plat survey in which requires approval.
We want to just get it, I mean,
Yeah.
if we want to get it done, but
I hate to hold somebody up if they're just splitting it up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because this is, back to the country.
I have a question.
McClure, I talked with Kurt today. They're gonna come in next month, and it was just information. He has some good information for us. The easement, there's nothing useful that they found there. They had the surveys go out there and they're gonna write up the new easements and bring them into us next month for you guys to look at, approve.
So they did get the easements
No,
signed?
he's gonna write them up
Oh,
and bring them in next month.
Holy cow.
That's why I called him, like, hey, where are
Because
we?
I was wondering what the heck was
He's
going
not
on.
I'll call him.
And then he said they might propose something that might save us some money by moving the lift station in closer to town, to left, and then, because when we have our force line, it's like 5 feet under the ground as opposed to the 16, 18 feet for the sewer line. He goes, because that could save you $100,000 out
If that
there.
means we have to rebuild a lift station.
I'm just,
I know, they're
I'm
thinking that we're
just-
gonna have to, but
Yeah.
I think the idea is to maybe kind of see what we've got before we have to go to that
yeah,
step.
well, and,
Are you talking about McClure?
yeah,
Has anybody talked to them?
I spoke to him today. They're coming in next month. Because that's like, we need to know what's going on.
Did
He
they get
did-
the easement?
No, there was no easements. They're writing some new ones, and I told them to have them to you by the 30th so that you can get them included in the package so everybody can read them.
But I
so
mean,
that-
did the residents sign off on the easements?
No, they haven't even written the easement. They just found out there aren't any, so now they gotta write them all. It's taken
Yeah.
4 months to figure that out. Holy cow.
He did say there is good news with the USDA loan proposal, that the interest rate drops from 2.5 for us down to 1.875. So that's some good news there.
That's good, but the DNR's not gonna like us putting this off another year, because they're not gonna start construction this year.
No, that's why I asked him, is there any chance of breaking ground? He's like, no, it's gonna be next year.
Getting
So it's
ridiculous.
possible.
We're just gonna defer dog them.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, what they've been doing all summer.
That's why I called
What is
it,
that?
because
Someone's
we haven't
digging
heard
down there, do you know
anything.
what that's about?
So it went down
Ask
to
him.
1.75.
One that's
Gas
gas
line
point
stuff,
875.
It's Mid-America digging down there, right, for- on their gas main?
Well, where's the rate gonna be by next, when we lock in?
He said he's gonna.
Hurry the hell up,
he said
man.
He's gonna have that stuff there, yeah, I'm telling you. And with the drainage that we got going on right now, he was saying that they might want to, break the project to the east of Highway 28 into 2 sections. And I was like, you know what, you come in and talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Because they're wanting to check do phase 1, which is the stints in the lines, and then check for how much we got in there after that.
Okay, so
So
they'll
it
be at the
might be
October
something different,
meeting.
yeah. So he's gonna be
Right.
coming in next month to talk. Like I said, we haven't heard anything in forever and a day, and I just thought I'd give him a call
Yeah.
and find out what's happening. And that's the information that I got from him,
Well, if you didn't have anything, I was gonna ask, so.
yeah. And you did not get an answer there on, okay.
I'll call.
Any more questions on the Hunters, Moreland? Are you just gonna have to get a hold of them, what it's about, and then? we'll
And
bring it back up?
if she finds out it's just division of land, she can call everybody and we can pass it.
That works,
Is that agreeable?
yeah.
That works
But
for
if
me.
it's not a,
Yeah.
No, this is-
Sounds
I mean, we could make the motion now, as long as
That's
it's
what I was
just
gonna say.
division.
I would make the motion now.
As long as
and
it's
then
just
if
division
that's
of
what it
land,
is,
then-
the motion's
So
already-
will somebody make the motion?
make a motion
If it's
if
in a division, we approve it.
Yeah,
So who made that?
I'll
motion?
second it. He made it, I'll second it.
All in favor of the approval of division of land, the plat,
Aye.
Aye.
that
You made the
division of the land,
Did you make the motion?
yes.
I second it.
And if it's something else, then
Then
I'll just
it's-
tell
it's
them
not
we
a-
need
it's
more
not passed.
detail.
because we just passed the division of a plat. Open forum. Anything, gentlemen? Anyone?
Yeah, I'd like to ask, are you doing away with the zoning board?
Zoning board? Can't. Why?
I just wondered,
No, we can't get, you have to have a zoning board.
okay? I just was wondering.
Ah,
Yes, I am.
who told you we were doing that?
No, I was just wondering.
You can't get rid of it.
Anyone else?
All
I
right.
had,
Yeah.
go ahead, Robert.
Not too much.
No, I just want my neighbor to cut his brush down.
Who is it?
Oh, in the greenhouse.
Well,
Robert doesn't, or
Name.
Scott doesn't live next to him anymore to complain, so now I got
it.
it. It's taller than my fence, so. I've talked to him twice already, so,
The kids.
yeah.
But yeah, I probably have to send it to him since it's in his name.
I don't know where he is even at.
Out here at the end of the same race
That's a
highway.
house just to the east
Out
of you.
where?
Yeah, the
At the end of the same
green.
race highway.
Address.
Oh. R45 and 92. I don't know.
Do you
yeah.
have a post office box? I need that for your water bill.
I'll give you the address to like what we get them sometimes. Let's go look for them, I tell you.
325 North Highway 28, box 79.
Here, right?
Do I have a water bill?
You
Can
do.
pay it tonight?
No, I'll put it in the mail.
Well, I can pay it tonight.
It's $184.14 because you have to pay a deposit.
That's an expensive drink of water.
Hey, just make sure that you get your
What
P.O.
box
box
did he
put on
say
all your
now?
stuff, because you won't get it
Oh,
otherwise.
yeah.
That's-
Did you say
freaking out.
32?
Whatever she returned mail that had the P.O. box on it.
79.
Really?
Gee.
Yes.
Box 79.
Okay.
where
Yeah,
it's figured
tell
out, or.
So we were worried about this
Because some
DOT
people don't
thing
think
here.
it's all day.
Yes.
And I think we were specifically worried about the drainage district assessment levied against the primary road within the municipality shall be shared equally by the department and the municipality. I think that's Dr. Mitch Delavue. He could not give me a concrete 100% answer, but he said he's looking into it, but he thinks that's standard boilerplate put out by the state. So I called the county engineer. Warren County does not have drainage districts. So it's gonna be hard for them to assess anything. They have them up in Polk and Story. But, so
Okay.
I think we're good.
I didn't hear
So we
everything you
just need
said.
to, I mean,
On
About
the
the-
contract,
On this contract, we had a question about the drainage district assessment.
yes.
Warren County doesn't, according to the Warren County engineer, we do not have drainage districts, so it would be very hard for them to therefore assess us. And this seems to be just standard boilerplate, one form fits all for the state.
So in other words,
And
it's okay to sign it?
Well, what if they all of a
Is that what you're
sudden
saying?
next year they say, oh, we have these?
Yeah.
I mean, don't you want to take it out and before you sign a contract? If it doesn't exist, then why is it in there?
It's just somebody went on the computer and they have a standard contract. just
But I,
print
here's
it
the deal,
out,
I can very easally call Delville back and say,
Can you
delete
take
it.
that out?
strike it, and we'll sign it. That cool?
Yeah.
that works, that's reasonable.
All right. I'll try to have, I will have that for the next meeting.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Call Mid-American and remind them about our streetlights.
Pardon?
Call Mid-American and remind them about our streetlights.
Yeah, that one's still out.
There's the one right here by the school.
They're still not,
I think there's one out over by the church too, in the middle
It
of.
comes and goes, I think.
So it's about ready to burn out.
So you'd be having $200 coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Make it rain.
did you hear what Scott said?
What?
Call Mid-American and remind them about the streetlights.
I sent in a request.
Work as fast as the government.
Donna, you guys do on that withdrawal.
No. Thank you.
Anything else?
Are all the copies of email correspondence here at City Hall yet that they've been forwarded to you, Donna?
Email correspondence, what do you mean?
We talked about that at the last meeting. Did any email correspondence back and forth between
Oh, I know.
the DNT and the McClure and whatever, all that stuff's gotta be,
Do you have
on
the
record here.
DOT stuff that you,
I have it in paper form, I don't have it in electronic form anymore.
there's supposed to be a copy of all that. Any correspondence
Okay.
that we have with anybody is supposed to be,
Yeah.
there's supposed to be a copy here.
I'm cool with that, and I do have the copy. My question to you is, do we have a policy for this stuff?
what do you mean policy?
Well, you really should have a policy about, obviously, you're going to be the records
I'm
manager.
sure that's an ordinance in the book somewhere.
But how long it's going to be kept, how it's going to be kept, and I guess my biggest concern is this. So I'm corresponding with people, and he gives me his phone number. Maybe it's his personal phone number. Now I'm concerned about, so I give it to you, and then it's released. We have released something potentially that violates the Privacy Information Act. You see where I'm going?
Yep,
So
but we also, that's all public
I
information
would
as well.
have to look at the
So
ordinance book, but.
what I was told was, from
Right,
the Iowa
sure.
Public Information Board,
Yep, yep.
that we need to come up with a policy or ordinance, if we do not have one, of how we're going to maintain these records, and that we should not go through and redact anything, that the lawyer should, and then we have plausible deniability. And
Fine.
And I'm not saying that
Yep.
in a bad way, I'm saying he's the legal expert.
Mhm.
And then if I do something
No,
wrong.
I agree. Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Protects you.
Yes, so we need to obviously,
Let me look in the ordinance book.
Okay.
Make sure we don't already have one.
if it's not, would you put it on the agenda for next time?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, this is hodgepodge, but it is what it
So
is.
this is all the DOT stuff.
That's the DOT crap.
Okay.
Oh, and that one's to the Warren County Attorney.
Okay. Okay. I can never lock and key until I find out.
All right.
Okay, question, would you ask the Warren County Attorney?
golf carts. We gotta have an ordinance, and backed up by our attorney. There you
We
go,
might be revisiting that then. Okay.
all right?
Well, we already have an ordinance.
No, we don't.
We have one, you
Well,
didn't
yeah.
pass it.
Right.
And
So we'd have to bring it
was done
back.
by the attorney,
We'd have to bring it back.
yes.
Yep. Well, do we need to put that on the agenda for the next meeting?
That's up to you guys.
I'm gonna be perfectly blunt, I don't have a dog in this fight, so you golf cart people.
I don't really care if I can ride him around town or not, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Ride
but
them around town.
I think
we don't
if
have an
we're-
ordinance saying we can't.
I think if we're
Well,
gonna,
it's
covered under the state.
It is illegal to drive.
It's covered under the state.
No, that's what the attorney said.
The lawyer specifically says it is illegal to drive them without an ordinance, specifically.
I think if we're gonna have them on city streets, we need to make sure that we have some local control over it. That's all. We're not doing anything, you know, terribly over and above what the state says, so,
No,
So do you want it on the next agenda?
yes.
And do
6
you want
months
the
out.
minutes on the next agenda?
No, actually, let's revisit that. Let's go back up to the, while we're in open forum, we can discuss that. Because Nathan wanted to make a motion to set the format of the minutes.
I'd like to set the format of the minutes. I'll make the motion.
Hold on a minute.
Yep, go ahead. Let me know when you're ready.
we can make, all right, I'm confused, we can make motions in open forum?
No, you really can't make a motion in open
He couldn't
forum.
make
had
the
it up-
motion
we
right
had it up
now
there,
because
but
it
be-
was on there.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
We were in the middle of the discussion.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, Rob. I was, yeah.
It's either that.
You're right. It's not because we're in open forum, it's because we're going back to that.
Yes, I'm
All right.
going back to that because
Understood.
we were in the middle of the discussion and we hadn't approved it yet.
Yeah.
That's why Scott says, hey, wait, I don't need to do it right now. So we are revisiting that.
Understood.
I'd like to make the motion that we adopt the Robert's Rules of Order version of the minutes, you know, short and sweet.
Which is attendance, motions, votes.
Attendance, motions, votes. We should probably check and see. It seems like there has to be a little bit more because we're city
Well, it's,
versus business.
that's
This
the
is Murray.
minimum that
Yes.
you require.
Right.
Where we need to,
I mean, they
think
are-
about that is,
Other people
it's
go
also a
more, but
historical
see, they're
document
just
because
bullet
once we
statements, it is
archive
just
it,
literally.
that we are recording
Motion.
history
Can
there.
I make
Right.
a copy of this?
Not that it's great
Yes, you
history,
may.
but nonetheless, it's
Correct,
history
that's what we
nonetheless.
should have.
And
Yeah, I'm saying there's two styles. We have to pick a style,
Okay.
okay?
That
So
would be
there's
great.
that, and then.
Yes, I agree. This
And then
looks
there's-
excellent.
And
Just
if you go to,
motions.
if you go to Osceola, theirs is giant, okay?
Yeah.
So,
Nope,
we got two styles.
And I understand there are different ways to do it. I'm just, you know,
And if you add, the logic behind that is if you add a little more detail when somebody goes through and they read the motions, they can understand why Councilman A and Councilman B
It seems strictly.
come to their decision because this was presented to them, as opposed to just.
and I understand that, but I'll also stand by the,
I
if you
would read
really
the
wanna
Iowa
know
code.
about, if you're
He's also
that
saying
worried
you
about
also
what goes
can't
on in the
drive
meeting, you need to come to the
Highway
meeting.
28 other to cross the road.
Correct.
And that would be both sides of it. I mean, that's
agree.
why
can't
Sometimes,
help.
but sometimes you might have someone who's in
You'll have
front,
to-
or they can't
He's got a letter
actually
from the
make
city
the
attorney.
and they
that
have no way of
basically
knowing,
says we
and
have
their
to have an
rights are
ordinance.
not
You
being
have to ask,
represented.
or I'll get it from
I
So is this the
Completely.
Robert's Law one?
All right?
That's,
Robert's rules.
Or whatever it
I think
is?
that's pretty
There's
close.
stuff like that, that if you just put it out ahead of time, so.
There has to be a happy
Then
medium.
no one's gonna feel like.
Yep, that's pretty
Well,
much
was-
what,
What's all this?
That there
Well,
has
it
to be a
wasn't
happy
attacked.
medium.
It was
yep, that's
because
pretty
it
much
wasn't
what
on the form,
Robert's
and I
rules
didn't put
says.
it on the
Now,
form
Robert's rules
because I didn't call.
kind of caters more to businesses, so they don't even have you list who made the motion, just a motion was made. Here, we have to list who
I
made the
sort
motion.
of like
Yeah,
that.
we have to do, we have to say who made the motion, who
Before, I had a
seconded,
bunch of stuff
that
on
sort
the
of
form. I
thing.
Yeah,
just did not
and
get around
your
to it.
notes have to reflect how each
I
person
work
voted.
too.
If it's
Yes.
voted passed unanimously, obviously everybody voted.
But I
yes.
also,
But if it's
see,
recorded
I
to
should
vote, you
I
have the
should
right
have had
to
that
say
in
yes
there too,
or
and I
no.
just didn't get
Because
around.
he
So I took care of it in open forum.
Voted no.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're all gonna see.
But that's one thing you have to make
Yeah.
sure everybody understands.
And that's different between business and city. Because business, you don't have to do that.
Okay, who's seconding this?
Well,
I'll second it.
okay, we got a motion for formatting the minutes per Robert's rules.
Per Robert's rules.
Making it sterile, just attendance,
With-
motions and votes.
With what, Murray is, was that Murray?
Yeah.
As an
Murray's
example?
about- Yeah, you got an example, yeah. And Murray is roughly the same size as us.
Right.
And I have a second for that,
Roughly.
is that correct?
Yes.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Of the-
Oh,
Aye.
There you have it.
okay.
I don't think they have a gas station.
Now we have a format.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've been
Is
there.
that it? think so.
We got one last thing here. Motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, no worries.